I've really enjoyed this training module on closing cash discount. I've enjoyed making the content for you. I hope you're finding it useful. In this last video, let's dive into the thing that really everybody wants to know about, and that is actually closing the deal. I use a 3-step closing process with small business owners that has worked very, very well for me over the years. I'm going to break it down for you. Again, obviously reference your document you have there. If you go down to step number 7, it's called the 3-step closing process. What I have found is that brand new salespeople, I just try to get them to accomplish step number 1 on every single interaction. But as you get more effective, and those of you that already have a lot of sales ability, you can really hone your sales skills and you can dramatically increase your closing percentage if you go through all 3 of these steps on every sales conversation where you feel like you're ready to close the sale. Okay. Number 1 is ask for permission. Okay. Ask for permission. This is the simplest way to close the sale. It's the most assumptive way. So we've gotten to a point where it seems like they're pretty interested. And now we're just going to say, Susan, it's been such a pleasure talking with you. I can tell this program is going to be such a big win for your business. With your permission, I'd like to go ahead and get some paperwork started so I can take down notes and just make sure I didn't miss anything. Very, very simple. Get out a piece of paper, start taking notes down. What's the legal name of the business? How do you spell your last name? And just start filling out the paperwork. Okay, they'll stop you if they're not ready. So you'd be surprised. About 1/3 of your sales will actually come from just doing that. That's all you have to do. About 1/3 of your sales, about 1/3 of your total potential sales can come just by doing that one line. And they'll say, okay, sure. And they'll just give you the information and you just sign them up. You don't even have to go through some big complicated close. Ask for permission to do the paperwork, and you're done. That's it. That simple. Okay. Now, obviously, a lot of people, 2/3, are going to say no. Okay. And so they're usually going to say no in some way, like it's what I call a blow-off objection. Well, hold on there, James, I just, we really want to think about this, right? I really want to make sure I talk this over with my business partner. I really need a week to think it over, give me a call back, these kinds of objections, okay? Now, when they say that, we now are going to move to step number 2, which is making it personal with confidence. Now, start out by using a buffer statement always whenever you're trying to close multiple times. Okay. A buffer statement is something that's going to make them feel good before you dive in and try to close again. So I might say something like, well, Susan, I would never want you to make a decision that you're uncomfortable with. So that's a buffer statement. I'm saying I would never want you to make a decision that you're uncomfortable with. Then I'm going to make it personal with confidence. So I'm going to say something, and I don't know, I'm not going to go through this. You can read it and see some other ideas, but I'm going to say something very sincere and very genuine about myself and how I think about my business. And I'm going to say, Susan, I would never want you to make a decision you're uncomfortable with, but let me just say this before I let you go. I want to make sure that I am going to work so hard for you on this account. I'm going to ensure that everything goes exactly as planned because I take it personally. I'm sure you take your business personally too. And sometimes it's like, I wish I didn't, but I really do. Like every client account to me, like my business is primarily built on referrals. So every client relationship matters so much to me personally that I promise you, I am not going to let you down. I'm going to make sure that you have a great experience. Now, with all that in mind, would you be willing to at least give me a shot? Let's go ahead and get some paperwork done and just kind of get the process started so that we can see what it feels like to work together. Would you at least give me that shot? So you can see how I've made it personal. I'm confident. And a lot of times that just kind of extra passion is enough for them to say, all right, yeah, that's fine. Let's do it. Let's give it a shot, and that's enough to bring them over. You'll find you get another 1/3 usually that will come on board with that. Now, at this point, a lot of people, if they still don't want to move forward, they are going to give you what I call the real objection. So now they're going to say, well, James, here's the thing. We would move forward, but here's the problem. Me and my business partner make all these decisions together or something like that. They're going to give you the real objection, not the blow-off objection. So now what I like to do is I try to close one more time if I can eliminate the risk. Okay? So it's very important at this point to really slow down, really slow down a lot. So wow, Susan, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I really appreciate that. And again, I just want to make sure that we work together at some point. So I'm not trying to put out a fire here or anything. And again, I just really appreciate your time, even, just today, taking this much time to consider this carefully and all that. So I really appreciate that. So this is my buffer statement, right? Now I'm going to think about the risk. Now this is where I can't give you an exact script because it depends on what the risk is. If the risk is a business partner, I might say something like this. I might say, now, one other thing I just thought of. I love to say that. One other thing I just thought of. Let me just throw this out there, and then I'll let you go. But one other thing I just thought of. I'm sure when you and your business partner make these decisions, you like to have as much information as possible, to make the best decision. It's like the more data you have, the better decision you make. Of course, you understand that. And so what I was thinking is maybe we could do a free 30-day trial. And that way, if we started a 30-day trial, say in the next week or so, you guys could actually, at the end of the 30 days, I will schedule a meeting and I'll come back and meet with you and your partner. And then rather than us just discussing kind of in the abstract, we can actually look at a processing statement and say, look, here is how we eliminated the fees. You would have a little bit of a better feel of your customer reaction to it and everything like that. So then we could all sit down with real data and make a decision. Now, I'm sure you've signed up for free 30-day trials before, and just so that you can get some additional data before you talk to your partner. Now, if I could structure it like that, would that work a little better for you? So now we're eliminating the risk, and we're asking them if it would work a little better for them, and we're trying to close it by eliminating the risk. So if you get to the point where you're going through all three of those, you are going to close a ton of deals, but it's really hard. I will tell you, most salespeople I work with, they struggle with even closing every time, let alone closing 3 attempts every time. It is hard, it is a challenge, and you really have to get good at those buffer statements and kind of keeping them on the hook, and reeling them in slowly while you go through these 3 processes. But if you'll implement them, I promise you they're going to work great for you. So that's it for this training module. We'll keep going with the next one.